Hello Essentians, welcome to my channel. मेरो च्यानल हेरिरहनुभएका सम्पूर्ण मुभी प्रेमीहरूलाई स्वागत छ र आज हामी मुभी रिभ्यू गर्न गइरहेका छौँ 1957 मा रिलिज भएको एउटा क्लासिक मुभी 12 एङ्ग्री मेनको र यो मुभी रेगिनाल्ड रोजको 1954 को टेलिप्ले 12 एङ्ग्री मेनमा आधारित छ र यस मुभीका डाइरेक्टर हुन् सिडनी ल्युमेट। यस मुभीका लिड एक्टर हुन् हेनरी फोन्डा एज जुरर 8 जसको नाम डेभिस हुन्छ र यो मुभीका अरू कास्टहरू हुन् मार्टिन ब्याल्सम एज जुरर 1, जोन फिल्डर एज जुरर 2, ली जेकब एज जुरर 3, इजी मार्शल एज जुरर 4, ज्याक लुकम्यान एज जुरर 5, एडवर्ड पिन्स एज जुरर 6, ज्याक वर्डन एज जुरर 7, Joseph Sweeney as Juror 9, Ed Begley as Juror 10, George Boscovic as Juror 11, Robert Weaver as Juror 12, John Savoca as the defendant, Rudy Bond as the judge. यसरी नै तपाई अरु कास्टहरुको नाम तपाई स्क्रिनमा हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। Tom Gorman as the stenographer, James Kelly as the bailiff, Billy Nelson as the court clerk, Walter Stoker as man waiting for elevator. र कुनै ढिलाइ नगरी यो च्यानललाई लाइक, शेयर अनि सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिनुहोस् होला र यो मुभीलाई साच्चै बुझ्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने यो भिडियो स्किप नगरी हेरिदिनुहोस् होला। र सुरु गरौँ। यो मुभीको प्लट यस्तो छ। मुभी सुरु हुन्छ न्युयोर्क काउन्टी कोर्ट हाउसमा र मुद्दा हुन्छ एकजना 18 वर्षीय केटामाथि जसलाई आफ्नै दुर्व्यवहार गर्ने बाबालाई छुरीले प्रहार गरेर मारेकोमा र यसको जिम्मेवारी न्यायाधीश अर्थात् जजले 12 जना जुरी अर्थात् निर्णायक मण्डललाई दिन्छ र निर्दोष हुनुको उचित शंका अर्थात् रिजनेबल डाउट भएको खण्डमा कोर्टले आफ्नो फैसला फिर्ता लिनुपर्छ। तर यदि दोषी पाएको खण्डमा दोषीलाई इलेक्ट्रिक चेयरद्वारा अनिवार्य मृत्यु दण्ड दिइनेछ। तर निर्णय लिँदा 12 जनै सर्वसहमत हुनु अनिवार्य हुन्छ। निर्णायक मण्डलहरूले सर्वप्रथम भोटिङ गर्छ र जुरर 8 ले उचित शंका व्यक्त गर्छ र ऊ बाहेक सबै 11 जना जुररले दोषी भोट गर्छन्। डिफेन्डेन्ट केटाको छिमेकीले उसले बाबालाई छुरी हानेको आफ्नो घरको खिड्कीबाट चल्दै गरेको ट्रेनको खिड्कीबाट देखेको गवाही दिएको कुरा हुन्छ। अर्को छिमेकीले पनि जो एउटा वृद्ध व्यक्ति जसको एउटा खुट्टा अपाहिज हुन्छ उसले पनि गवाही दिन्छ कि केटाले आफ्नो बाबालाई मार्ने धम्की दिएको सुनेको हुन्छ र बाबाको शरीर भुइँमा लडेको आवाज सुनेको पनि दाबी गर्छ र जब ऊ हेर्नु आफ्नो दैलोतर्फ जान्छ उसले केटालाई सिँढीबाट ओह्रालो भाग्दै गरेको देखेको थिए भन्छ। हत्या गरेको ठाउँमा एउटा हत्या गरेको हतियार स्विच प्लेट पाउँछ जसमा फिङ्गरप्रिन्ट मेटाएको हुन्छ र हुबहु सेम स्विच प्लेट केटाले पनि किनेको हुन्छ। तर जब कारबाही हुन्छ उसले त्यो स्विच प्लेट हराएको दाबी गर्छ। उसले फेरि भोट गर्ने सुझाव दिन्छ तर यसपल्ट ऊ भोटमा सामेल हुँदैन। भोटिङ 11 जना बीच मात्र हुन्छ। भोटिङ हुन्छ अनि जुरर 8 को निर्णयलाई सम्मान गर्दै जुरर 9 ले पनि निर्दोष भोट गर्छ र यो केसमा अझै डिस्कसन हुनुपर्छ भनेर सहमत हुन्छ। जुरर 8 ले आर्ग्यु गर्छ कि जुन कुरा दोस्रो साक्षीले सुनेको दाबी गरेको थियो चलिरहेको ट्रेनको आवाजले यो कुरामा पूर्ण रूपमा विश्वास गर्नु अलिकति साह्रो छ। फेरि एकपल्ट भोट हुन्छ र जुरर 5, 8, 9 र 11 ले निर्दोष भोट गर्छ। जुरर 8 ले त्यो विटनेसको अपार्टमेन्टको प्लान हेरेर एउटा एक्सपेरिमेन्ट गर्छ र कुनै पनि हालतमा त्यो विटनेस निर्धारित समयमा दैलोसम्म आइपुग्न असम्भव छ भनेर प्रमाणित गर्छ। जुरर 3 ले यो तर्कको विरोध गर्छ र 2, 5, 6, 9 र 11 जुरर 8 सँग सहमत हुन्छ अनि भोटिङ अब इक्वल 6-6 भएर विभाजित हुन्छ। जुरर 4 ले डिफेन्डेन्ट केटाले डिटेल्सहरू याद राख्ने क्षमतामा शंका जनाउँछ र जुरर 8 ले आफ्नो तर्क सिद्ध गर्नु लागि खुद जुरर 4 को मेमोरी टेस्ट लिन्छ। जुरर 2 ले केटा आफ्नो बाबा भन्दा होचो हुनु कारणले छुरीको एंगल ओह्रालो हुनु पर्थ्यो भन्ने तर्क राख्छ र जुरर 3 ले यसलाई सपोर्ट गर्छ तर फेरि जुरर 5 ले स्विच प्लेट उकालो पारेर मारिन्छ भन्ने तर्क दिन्छ। जुरर 7 ले पनि पर्खिनु नसकेर आफ्नो भोट चेन्ज गर्छ र यो देखेर जुरर 11 क्रोधित हुन्छ। फेरि भोटिङ हुन्छ र जुरर 1 र 12 ले पनि आफ्नो मत बदल्छ र अब केवल 3 जना दोषीको पक्षमा हुन्छ। जुरर 4 अझै पनि दोषीको पक्षमा हुन्छ किनभने ऊ प्रथम साक्षीको बयानसँग सहमत हुन्छ जसले सडक पारीबाट हत्या गरेको देखेको हुन्छ। यो सुनेर जुरर 12ले फेरि आफ्नो मत दोषीपट्टि बदलिन्छ। जुरर 9ले एउटा कुरा याद राख्छ जब जुरर 4ले आफ्नो चस्मा फुकाल्छ उसको चस्माको निशान नाकमा बसेको देख्छ र यस्तो निशान उसले त्यो केटी साक्षीको नाकमा पनि देखेको हुन्छ र जब यो घटना भएको हुन्छ त्यो केटी सुत्ने कोसिस गर्दै गरेको हुन्छ अर्थात् उसले त्यस समय चस्मा लगाएको थिएन र यसले गर्दा ऊ गलत हुने सम्भावना ज्यादा हुन्छ। यो तर्क सुनेर जुरर 4, 10 र 12ले पनि आफ्नो भोटिङ निर्दोषमा बदलिन्छ र अन्तमा केवल जुरर 3 मात्र रहन्छ। जुरर 3ले सबैलाई कन्भिन्स गर्नु धेरै प्रयत्न गर्छ तर ऊ असफल बन्छ र अन्तमा उसले पनि आफ्नो मत निर्दोषमा बदलिन्छ। अन्तमा डिफेन्डेन्ट केटालाई निर्दोष साबित गरेर सबै अदालतबाट निस्किन्छन् र जुरर 8 र 9 छुट्टिनु अघि एक अर्कालाई आफ्नो नाम बताउँछ अनि मुभी यही एन्ड हुन्छ। सर्वप्रथम सबै जुरर्सहरूको जब्स या कामको पनि कुरा गरौँ। जुरर 8 जो कर्मले आर्किटेक्टको काम गर्छन्। जुरर 1 द जुरी फरम्यान ऊ एउटा हाई स्कुलको असिस्टेन्ट फुटबल कोच हुन्छ।
I forgot to tell you, I'm the assistant head coach at the Andrew J. McCorkle High School. Yeah, that's on Queens.
जुरर 2 जसले ब्याङ्क टेलरको काम गर्छन्।
I remember I was arguing with the guy I worked next to at the bank a couple weeks ago. He called me an idiot, so I yelled at him.
जुरर 3 एउटा कोरियर बिजनेसको ओनर हुन्छ।
I run a messenger service, the Beck and Call company. The name is my wife's idea. Got 37 men working. Started with nothing.
जुरर 4 जसले स्टक ब्रोकरको काम गर्छ।
What's new? I didn't get a chance to see a paper this morning.
I was only wondering how the market closed.
You got a seat on the exchange?
I'm a broker.
जुरर 6 जसले हाउस पेन्टरको काम गर्छ।
Has anyone here ever lived near the L tracks?
Well, I just finished painting an apartment that overlooked an L line. I was there for 3 days.
What was it like?
What do you mean?
Noisy?
Oh, brother.
जुरर 7 जो एक सेल्सम्यान हुन्छ।
I made 27 grand last year selling marmalade. That's not bad. I mean, you know, considering marmalade.
जुरर 10 जो एउटा ग्यारेजको मालिक हुन्छ।
I got 3 garages of mine going to pot while you're talking. So let's get down and get out of here.
जुरर 11 एउटा युरोपियन वाचमेकर हुन्छ।
What do you do?
I'm a watchmaker.
Oh, really? Well, I imagine the finest watchmakers in the world come from Europe, huh? Rice Pops. It's a product I work on at the agency. A breakfast with a built-in bounce.
जुरर 12 ऊ एउटा एडभर्टाइजिङ एक्जिक्युटिभ हुन्छ।
I wrote that line. You know, in advertising. I told you I worked in an agency.
जुरर 5 बाल्टिमोर ओरियल्सको फ्यान हुन्छ र उसको जब मुभीमा मेन्सन गरेको छैन तर यसको दुईटा इन्टरप्रिटेसन छ कि उसको जब एउटा हेल्थ केयर वर्करको थियो र अर्को इन्टरप्रिटेसन चाहिँ ऊ एउटा मेकानिक थियो भन्ने छ। जुरर 9 उहाँको जब मेन्सन गरेको छैन र साथै सबै जुरर्सहरूको पर्सनालिटीको पनि विश्लेषण गरौँ। जुरर 8 एकजना नैतिकता र मानवता भएको मान्छे जसले प्रमाण र तथ्यमाथि मात्र विश्वास राख्छ अनि सुरुमा दोषी होइन भने एक मात्र व्यक्ति।
With the rest of us, you heard what we did. The kid's a dangerous killer. You could see it.
He's 18 years old. Look, this kid's been kicked around all of his life. You know, born in a slum, mother dead since he was 9. He lived for a year and a half in an orphanage when his father was serving a jail term for forgery. It's not a very happy beginning. He's a wild, angry kid. That's all he's ever been. And you know why? Because he's been hit on the head by somebody once a day, every day. He's had a pretty miserable 18 years. I just think we owe him a few words, that's all. How long it would take, and they'll... This isn't a game. We're talking about somebody's life here. We can't decide it in 5 minutes, supposing we're wrong.
जुरर 1 एकजना शान्त प्रवृत्ति भएको मान्छे र जस्तो सिचुएसनहरूलाई पनि नियन्त्रण गर्न सक्ने एउटा लिडरशिप भएको व्यक्ति।
Okay, man, let's take our seats, huh?
Okay, gentlemen, if I can have your attention. You fellas can handle this thing any way that you want to. I'm You know, I'm not going to make any rules. We can, well, discuss it first and then vote on it. Okay. Now, perhaps if the gentleman down there who's disagreeing with us, well, perhaps you could tell us why. You know, let us know what you're thinking, and we might be able to show you where you're mixed up.
I'm talking here.
Another vote called for. Now, let's take our seats.
जुरर 2 विनम्र अनि सङ्कटको समयमा छिटो अत्तालिने तर साह्रै ज्यादा हेपियो पनि आफ्नो लागि खडा हुने स्वभाव भएको व्यक्ति.
How'd you like it?
Oh, I don't know. It was pretty interesting.
What about the switch knife they found in the old man's chest?
Wait a minute. There's some people who haven't talked yet. Shouldn't we go in order?
They'll get a chance to talk. Just be quiet a second, will you?
Another vote called for. Now, let's take our seats.
I never saw so much time spent on nothing.
It only takes a second. Come on, knock it off.
Okay.
And you're like everybody else. You think too much, you get mixed up. You know what I mean?
Now, listen, I don't think you have any right... Loudmouth.
जुरर 3 आफ्नै कुराहरूलाई गलत साबित गर्ने एकजना सेडिस्ट हुन्छ.
What's the matter with you guys? You all know he's guilty. He's got to burn. You're letting him slip through our fingers.
Ever since you walked into this room, you've been acting like a self-appointed public avenger. You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts. You're a sadist.
Where does he come off calling me? A public avenger, sadist and everything? I mean, anyone in his right mind would blow a stack. Huh? You're just trying to bait me.
उसको आफ्नो छोरासँगको सम्बन्ध राम्रो नभएकोले उसको यस्तो स्वभाव हुन्छ.
22 years old. When he was 9 years old, he ran away from a fight. I saw it. I was so embarrassed, I almost threw up. I said, I'm going to make a man out of you if I have to break you in two trying. Well, I made a man out of him. When he was 16, we had a fight. Hit me in the jaw. He's a big kid. Haven't seen him for 2 years. Kids. Work your heart out.
जुरर 4 विश्लेषणात्मक गुण भएको व्यक्ति जसले ओपिनियन या राय होइन तथ्य अर्थात् फ्याक्ट्समा विश्वास राख्छ.
He arrived home at about 10 o'clock. Now, this is where the stories offered by the state and the boy begin to diverge slightly. He claims that he went to a movie at about 11:30, returning home at 3:10 to find his father dead and himself arrested.
तर आफ्नो गल्ती स्वीकार पनि गर्छ तर इमोसन्सहरू अलिकति कम्ती भएको व्यक्ति.
Putting yourself in the boy's place, do you think you could remember details after an upsetting experience such as being slapped in the face by your father?
I think so. Is there any special details to remember? The boy couldn't remember the names of the movies he saw because he wasn't there that night.
I'd like to ask you a personal question.
Go ahead.
Where were you Monday night?
Monday night, my wife and I went to the movie.
What was the second feature?
Something Mrs. Bainbridge, the remarkable Mrs. Bainbridge.
I saw that. It's called The Amazing Mrs. Bainbridge.
Who was in The Amazing Mrs. Bainbridge?
Barbara Long, I think it was. A dark, very pretty girl. Or Lynn or Long, something like that.
And you weren't under an emotional stress, were you?
No. I wasn't.
Could marks be made by anything other than eyeglasses?
No, they couldn't.
I didn't see any marks.
I did. Strange, but I didn't think about it before.
Do you wear glasses when you go to bed?
No, I don't. No one wears eyeglasses to bed.
It's logical to assume that she wasn't wearing them when she was in bed.
You?
No. I'm convinced. Not guilty.
What's the matter with you?
I have a reasonable doubt now.
जुरर 5 ऊ एउटा स्लम एरियामा हुर्केको हुनाले स्लमको नानीहरूमाथि अलिक संवेदनशील भएको व्यक्ति.
If you find the accused guilty, the bench will not entertain a recommendation for mercy. The death sentence is mandatory in this case.
He was born in a slum. Slums are breeding grounds for criminals. I know it, and so do you. It's no secret children from slum backgrounds are potential menaces to society. Now, I think...
Brother, you can say that again. The kids who crawl out of these places are real trash. I don't want any part of them, I'm telling you.
Listen, I've lived in a slum all my life.
Wait a minute.
Please, I've played in backyards that were filled with garbage. I mean, maybe you can still smell it on me.
Now listen, Sonny.
Come on now, there's nothing personal
Oh,
about
now, there
this.
was something personal.
Come on, fella, he didn't mean you. Let's not be so sensitive.
This sensitivity I can understand.
जुरर छ जसले वृद्ध मानिसहरूलाई दुर्व्यवहार गरेको सहन नसक्ने एउटा सिद्धान्त भएको व्यक्ति.
Know what I mean? Is everyone here?
The old man is inside.
Oh, would you knock on the door for him?
Yeah.
They got it. No, I mean, who they got besides good groundkeepers?
Say, we'd like to get started. Oh, forgive me, gentlemen. I didn't mean to keep you waiting.
Baltimore.
Well, I'd like to make it clear anyway, if you don't mind.
Do we have to listen to this?
The man wants to talk.
Thank you.
Why should he lie? What's he got to gain?
Attention, maybe.
You keep coming in with these bright sayings. Why don't you send them into a paper? They pay $3 a piece.
What are you talking to him like that for? Guy talks like that to an old man really ought to get stepped on, you know? You ought to have more respect, mister. If you say stuff like that to him again, I'm gonna lay you out. Now, you go ahead. You say anything you like.
जुरर 7 जसलाई केस भन्दा बेसी याङ्किसको गेम हेर्नु हतार हुन्छ अर्थात् उसमा मानवता र नैतिकताको अलिकति कमी भएको देखिन्छ.
Yeah, we can all get out of here pretty quick, huh? I don't know about the rest of you, but I happen to have tickets to that ball game tonight. Yanks in Cleveland.
Doubt in your minds as to the guilt of the accused? A reasonable doubt.
I think it's customary to take a preliminary vote.
Yeah, let's vote. Who knows? Maybe we can all get out of here.
I don't think the judge will accept a hung jury. We haven't been in here very long.
Well, let's find out.
I'm not in favor of that.
Listen, this kid wouldn't stand a chance with another jury, and you know it. Come on, we're hung. Nobody's going to change his vote. Let's take it inside.
How about you?
I don't know about the rest of them, but I'm getting a little tired of this yakety-yakking back and forth. It's getting us nowhere. So I guess I'll have to break it up. I changed my vote to not guilty.
What kind of a man are you? You have sat here and voted guilty with everyone else because there are some baseball tickets burning a hole in your pocket.
र मेरो पर्सनल फेभरेट जुरर 9 एक अनुभवी बुजुर्ग जो स्वभावले अत्यन्त बुद्धिमानी पर्यवेक्षक या अब्जर्भर हुन्छ.
He didn't change his vote. I did.
Oh, fine.
I know it.
Would you like me to tell you why? This gentleman has been standing alone against us. Now, he doesn't say the boy is not guilty. He just isn't sure. Well, it's not easy to stand alone against the ridicule of others, so he gambled for support, and I gave it to him. I respect his motives. But the boy in trial is probably guilty, but I want to hear more. I think I know this man better than anyone here. Nobody knows him. Nobody quotes him. Nobody seeks his advice after 75 years. Gentlemen, that's a very sad thing to mean nothing. A man like this needs to be quoted, to be listened to be quoted just once. Very important to him.
जुरर 10 एक जेनोफेबिक व्यक्ति हुन्छ अर्थात् अरू देशहरूका मानिस या तिनीहरूको सोचहरूलाई मन नपराउने. बेसिकली जुरर 10 एक रेसिस्ट हुन्छ.
You're not going to tell me that we're supposed to believe this kid knowing what he is? Listen, I've lived among them all my life. You can't believe a word they say. You know that. I mean, they're born liars. Look, she's known the kid all his life. His window was right opposite hers across the L tracks, and she swore she saw him do it.
I'd like to ask you something. You don't believe the boy's story. How come you believe the woman's? She's one of them, too, isn't she?
Bright. He's a common, ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English. Look, you know how these people lie? It's born in them. They get drunk. Oh, they're real big drinkers, all of them. You know that. And bang, someone's lying in the gutter. Well, nobody's blaming them for it. That's the way they are, by nature. You know what I mean? Violent. Where are you going? Human life don't mean as much to them as it does to us.
जुरर 11 लोकतान्त्रिक मूल्यहरूमाथि दृढ विश्वास भएको एक युरोपियन अमेरिकी नागरिक अनि यो एउटा गुड लिसनर पनि हुन्छ.
Pardon me. I
I have made some notes here, and I would like, please, to say something. I beg pardon.
I beg pardon. What are you so polite about?
For the same reason you're not. It's the way I was brought up.
I changed my vote to not guilty.
Who tells you that you have the right to play like this with a man's life? If you want to vote not guilty, then do it because you are convinced the man is not guilty, not because you've had enough. And if you think he is guilty, then vote that way. Or don't you have the guts to do what you think is right?
जुरर 12 उसको छिटो निर्णय लिनु नसक्ने अनि अरूको कुरामा छिटो आउने स्वभाव भएको व्यक्ति.
I thought he was really sharp. Well, the way he hammered home those points one by one, logical sequence, that was very impressive. I think he did an expert job. A lot of drive, too, you know? Real drive.
Number 12? Number 12.
Guilty.
What do you think?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, all those voting not guilty, raise your hands. Hey. How about you?
It's not so easy to arrange all the evidence in order.
You can throw out all the other evidence. The woman saw him do it. What else do you want?
Yeah, well, maybe...
Let's vote on it.
Okay, there's another vote called for. Anyone object?
All right, I'm changing my vote. He's guilty.
Is it possible?
Not guilty.
Past affects present. अर्थात् past experiences are both disease and cure at the same time. किनभने आफ्नो व्यक्तिगत अनुभवकै आधारमा सबै क्यारेक्टर्सहरूले डिफेन्डेन्ट केटाको प्रति एउटा दोषीको रूपमा पूर्वाग्रह अर्थात् प्रिजुडिस बनाउँछ. तर फेरि आफ्नै व्यक्तिगत अनुभवले आफ्नै तर्कहरूलाई गलत साबित गर्नु सहायता पनि गर्छ. पास्ट एक्सपिरियन्सेस सेप्स आवर पर्सनालिटी, स्पेसली द जब्स वी डु. वास्तवमा हामीले त्यो पास्ट एक्सपिरियन्सहरूलाई कस्तो नजरियाले लिन्छौँ त्यो सबभन्दा महत्त्वपूर्ण कुरा हो. त्यसैकारण मैले पहिले नै जब, पर्सनालिटी र पास्ट ब्याकग्राउन्ड मेन्सन गरेको.
Say, could I see that knife a second, please? There's something I'd like to say. I mean, it's been bothering me a little, and as long as we're stuck... Well, there was this whole business about the stab wound and how it was made. The downward angle of it, you know. Now, the boy was 5 feet 7 inches tall. His father was 6'2". That's a difference of 7 inches. It's a very awkward thing to stab down into the chest of someone who's more than half a foot taller than you are.
You can get from his bedroom to his front door in 15 seconds.
He said 20 seconds.
He said 15.
He said 20 seconds. What are you trying to distort?
He said 15.
How does he know how long 15 seconds is? You can't judge a thing like that.
He said 15 seconds. He was very positive about it.
He was an old man. Half the time he was confused. How could he be positive about anything?
This phrase, how many times have all of us used it? Probably thousands. I could kill you for that, darling. Junior, you do that once more and I'm going to kill you. Get in there, Rocky, and kill. I say it every day. That doesn't mean we're really going to kill him.
Wait a minute. What are you trying to give us here? The phrase was, I'm going to kill you. The kid yelled it at the top of his lungs. Don't tell me you didn't mean it. Anybody says a thing like that the way he said it, they mean it.
You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts. You're a sadist.
Kill him out.
You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
Did the old man say he ran to the door?
Ran? Walked? What's the difference? He got on, did he? I mean, he got there, didn't he?
No, well, wait a second.
He said he ran. At least I think he did.
Now, look, I don't remember what he said, but I don't see how he could have run to the door.
He went directly to a neighborhood junk shop where he bought one of those...
switch knives.
Switchblade knives.
Here's how. Underhanded. Anyone who's ever used a switch knife wouldn't handle it any other way.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. That's why they made it open like that.
You'd say the boy was pretty handy with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
You think he could have made the kind of wound that killed his father?
No. Now, with the experience he'd had all his life handling these things, I feel he'd have gone for him underhanded.
Let us assume that the boy really did commit the murder. Now, this happened at 10 minutes after 12. Now, how was he caught by the police? He came back home at 3 o'clock or so, and he was captured by 2 detectives in the hallway of his house. Now, my question is, if he really had killed his father, why would he come back home 3 hours later? Wouldn't he be afraid of being caught?
The boy knew the knife could be identified as the one he had just bought. He had to get it before the police did.
But if he knew the knife could be identified, why did he leave it there in the first place? He would have had to be calm enough to see to it that there were no fingerprints left on the knife. Now, where did this panic start and where did it end? She testified that a moment after she saw the killing, that is, a moment after the train went by, she screamed and then went to telephone the police. Now, the boy certainly must have heard the scream, so he knew that somebody saw something. I just don't think that he would have gone back.
Sorry for the 19th time.
15 seconds after the body hit the floor.
Correct.
Now, let's see. It's 12 feet from the bed to the door. The hall is 43 feet. He would have had to walk 12 feet, open the bedroom door, walk 43 feet down, and open the front door, all in 15 seconds. You think he could have done it?
What are you doing?
I'm going to try it, see how long it took it. Lock, door, stop.
Right.
Ed and himself arrested. Now, what happened to the switch knife? He claims that it fell through a hole in his pocket on the way to the movies sometime between 11:30 and 3:10, and that he never saw it again. Now, there is the tale, gentlemen. I think it's quite clear that the boy never went to the movies that night. No one in the house saw him go out at 11:30. No one at the theater identified him. He couldn't even remember the names of the pictures he saw. You've made some excellent points, but I still believe the boy is guilty of murder, and I have two reasons. One, the evidence given by the woman across the street who actually saw the murder committed. And two, the fact that she described the stabbing by saying she saw the boy raise his arm over his head and stab down into the father's chest. She saw him do it the wrong way, but that she got a good look at the boy in the act of stabbing his father. As far as I can see it, this is unshakable testimony.
It was just that I looked at him for a very long time. Seemed the jacket was split under the shoulder. Oh, did you notice that? I mean, to come to court like that. He was a very old man in a torn jacket. And he walked very slowly to the stand. He was dragging his left leg and trying to hide it because he was ashamed.
6:15. Someone before mentioned 7 o'clock.
Why were you rubbing your nose like that? Is it because of your eyeglasses?
It is.
Your eyeglasses made those two deep impressions in the sides of your nose. The woman who testified that she saw the killing had those same marks on the sides of her nose.
Holy smokes, you know he's right.
She kept rubbing them in court.
He's right. Now, she did do that a lot.
Could those marks be made by anything other than eyeglasses?
No, they couldn't.
फन फ्याक्ट, धेरै जसो सटहरू डाइरेक्टरले एउटै टेकमा लिएका छन् र एन्टायर मुभीमा जुरर 8 र 9 बाहेक कसैको नाम लिएको छैन। एउटा मुभी बनाउनु लागि महँगो सेटअप, म्युजिक, एउटै नाम नभएको क्यारेक्टर्सहरू चाहिन्छ भन्ने धारणालाई यो मुभीले गलत साबित गर्छ। जरुरत छ त केवल एउटा स्ट्रङ स्क्रिन प्लेको जो रेजिनाल्ड रोजले सिमलेसली निभाएका छन्। यो मुभी मेकर्स, राइटर्स र मुभी लभर्सहरूलाई आफैमा एउटा सिख हो, एउटा इन्स्पिरेसन हो। 12 एङ्ग्री मेनको मुख्य खासियत हो यसको सादगी अर्थात् सिम्प्लिसिटी, र यो मुभीले तपाईँ एसएन अडियन्सलाई पनि एउटा जुरर हुनु मजबुर पार्छ र बाँधेर राख्छ र जस्तो कठिन परिस्थितिमा पनि मानवताको पक्षमा निर्णय लिने सन्देश पनि दिन्छ। मुभी राम्ररी हेर्नुहोस् अनि कमेन्ट गर्नुहोस् which is your favorite juror. यदि तपाईँ यहाँसम्म आइपुग्नुभयो भने थ्याङ्क यू फर वाचिङ। स्वस्थ रहनुहोस्, खुसी रहनुहोस्, and don't miss this masterpiece. Goodbye.